Hey, YouTube people, what's happening to my fan base, my little fan base? It's great to see you guys again. I know I haven't been on for a while. We're basically in competition season, so most times I'm either driving off to a competition or I'm going through hardcore training with my girls. You know, making sure that they're up to the level that they need to be in order to compete. Anyway, I know I talk about a lot of when I speak about the humbling effect when it happens to women, and I kind of explain it. I don't know if I've really gone through it as to why I say, you know, the humbling effect for women. But the thing is that the explanation I want to give is that when the humbling effect happens to any woman, it's basically something that has happened to her that brought her to the point of where she is just, you know, she's not even a speck of dirt. You understand? Like for instance, what if this woman was like the richest woman in the world, and then after a while she became the poorest woman in the world? That would be a humbling effect, right? But we're going to go into detail because, you know, it's not just about her being rich and then her being poor. It's about what comes with her being rich and then what happens to her while, you know, in the process of becoming poor and then hitting rock bottom after that. Anyway, you have a lot of women in life, in relationships, they treat men like crap. They treat their boyfriends like crap. If you're in a relationship with any woman, you as a man should not feel as if you need to beg for her affection. You as a man should not feel as if you have to beg her to love you or to treat you right. And if you're in a relationship that the two of you are fornicating, you as a man should not be begging her to have sex with you, or you shouldn't have to constantly be throwing money at her for her to even consider having sex with you. I hope you guys understand where I'm getting at so far in terms of what I'm talking about. Now, nobody should be in a relationship and feel unloved, uncared for, or just basically feel as if they're a piece of shit. You understand? Many people, many men, and including myself in the past, has been in a relationship by which I was treated like garbage. You understand? And even when I reached out to the woman and said to her that this isn't right, you're not treating me right, and stuff like that, she had the audacity to tell me that I'm a man and I should suck it up. And that's when I walked out, because I'm not, regardless of what people thought of me for leaving that relationship, I walked out because I don't believe that anybody has the right to treat me like crap. Alright? So, you know, I just want to say to you people out there, don't let anybody treat you like crap. Anyway, the humbling effect, right? It starts all the way from even Genesis. It starts from Genesis in the Bible. And I'm going to go over some videos in terms of like explaining who God is and what the creation is. Because a lot of people are going to say, if God knew that man was going to sin, then why did he still create him? Or why did he still allow the tree to be there? Or why did he allow this? And why did he allow that? And then some people turn around and blame God and say that God is the person who actually created sin, which that is not true. God did not create sin, because the creation is different from the creator. You understand? So everything that the creation does outside of the creator is its own doing. So I just want to point that out to you guys right now, that God is not the author of sin. Like even the Bible tells you that God cannot sin, nor can he lie. You understand? That's just not something that God can do or that God will do. God, Truth be told, God doesn't even need to lie, because there's nothing for God to gain from anything like that. God doesn't need anything from anyone. So, God doesn't need to lie or, deceive, or, you understand what I'm saying? So, before you guys get, in an upheaval about God doing this and God doing that, kind of like just think about things like that. God is an ultimate supreme being who has need of nothing. So, an ultimate supreme being who has need of nothing basically don't need to lie to you about anything. You understand what I'm saying? God really and truly does not need to lie to you. Anyway, not to steer off point. In Genesis, what I want to say is that women have inherited Eve's persona, her personality, her actions, and her thoughts. And what do I mean by that? Right? In Genesis, it tells you what happened. And, a lot of people challenge me on this a lot, but I don't care. But you have to think about the mindset of what Eve was thinking while she was being deceived. Now, listen to this. In Genesis, you had Adam. You understand? And then God took Eve out of his rib and created Eve. Yeah, took a rib and created Eve, right? And then now, they were both perfect. They were different. They had different attributes. But they were both perfect creations. Alright? So now, Adam, who was in the garden before Eve, basically he spent more time with God. And that's kind of obvious about what happened, because Adam was basically spending a lot of time with God, learning not only about himself, but about the universe and the things that were around him. So he was in the process of learning. You understand? And then when Adam was basically finished learning and finished completing some of the duties that God gave to him to do, God was basically like saying, no, it's not good for Adam to be alone. I'm going to give him a helper. And that's what the Bible says. The Bible says, help meet. The Bible never said that Eve was equal to Adam. That's one thing that you people have to get right. You understand? She was the perfect helper. You understand? So people need to stop this whole equality thing, because she was never equal to Adam. Now, that is not to say that Eve don't have her own attributes or whatever it is and blah 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 blah. No, or is she below Adam and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. Look in life, people. You will always have a boss and you will always have an employee. You will always have a general and you will always have a soldier. You will always have a chief and you will always have a village person. There's no way of getting around hierarchy. There's no way of getting around hierarchy. This is built by God himself. So this whole thing of everybody can rule together is a very stupid notion. Not everyone can be a doctor. Not everyone can be a lawyer. Some of us are meant to be plumbers. Some of us are meant to be electricians. Me personally, I want to get into heating and AC. You understand? I think it's a very good way to make money. Other than investing in stocks too, which I already do. I want to get into a lot of things that help to increase, my wealth. Anyway, moving on back to the topic. Now, when the snake approached Eve in the garden, the snake was basically like, all right, Eve, listen. Has God told you not to eat of that tree over there? And basically Eve said, yeah, basically God said that we can eat of every tree except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Because in the day that we eat of it, we shall surely die. Now, the concept of death, it may not be understood, but it was taught to them that they would die if they basically eat of that tree. And the snake looked at Eve and said basically, you're not going to die. If you eat of this tree, God knows that you're going to be like him, knowing good and evil. Okay, now let's take a pin and take a pause right there. I want you guys to think about what was just said to her and what started to go through her mind in terms of what she was just told. Now, Eve was just told that, one, God is a liar. You're not going to die. That's one. Okay? Two, she will be like God. Now, if I don't care what anybody says, a lot of people, like, if you're told that you will win $1 million if you buy this ticket, you'll buy it. You understand? You'll take the deception and you'll buy it, because, you know, a lot of us want to be in that position of being well off. You understand? Now, the thing about it is this now. What is going through Eve's mind? Eve does not want to be a human being. She doesn't want to be a helper to Adam. She wants to be above Adam. You understand? She wants to give Adam's orders. She wants to give Adam orders. She wants to rule Adam. She wants to tell Adam where to go, what to do, and every single thing. Right? Now, the next thing with that as well is that she was told that she would be like God. Now, that's the next thing. It means that she wouldn't have to listen to God either. Why? Because she would be like him. So she wouldn't have to listen to Adam, nor would she have to listen to God. And this is the deception that she was told. That you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now, being told that now, obviously, you know, she fell for it. And she was like, wow, I don't need to listen to Adam. Nice. I don't need to listen to God. Nice. I'm above that. I'm above being human. I'm above listening to God. I'm above listening to Adam. You understand? And she made the foolish decision thinking it would have brought her into a position above what she actually was, which was a creation of the Most High. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that the mindset of Eve didn't fall off the face of the earth? It started everything and it's still going on. How many women in society, when you give them a direct knowledge and wisdom and you basically try to help them, they behave as if they are above that. They are above the truth itself, as if they are on the level of being more than human. Right? We all know the end of the story where Eve is concerned, where she basically realized after she had eaten the apple, or no, sorry, not the apple, the fruit. I keep forgetting that it's not an apple. It's a fruit, right? From the tree of knowledge and good and evil. After she had eaten that fruit, she realized the mistake she made, and she realized the consequences of what's going on with her. Even the Bible directly, it goes on and it lets people know that Adam was not the one who was deceived. Adam knew full well what had happened to Eve. He knew what happened. And Adam's mistake was his compassion for her. You understand what I'm saying? That was Adam's compassion. Him taking a bite out of the fruit wasn't anything but compassion for her. So, anyway, he had compassion on her. He felt sorry for her. He felt sorry that she was dying. She was going to die from eating the fruit. But he was not deceived. He knew, and he knew full well when he took that bite what was going to happen to him. The Bible tells you. Now, how is that relevant to what we're facing now today? Alright, I'm going to tell you how it's relevant. We have a lot of women in society that basically treat men like crap. We have a lot of women who behave as if they are above being who they are, which is a human being. So they tend to think that they pedestalize themselves, and also the media and other men pedestalize women. And these women treat other men like crap and treat other people like crap. They even treat other women like crap. And then the humbling effect is when they realize at the end, after their consequences, what they have done wrong. You understand? Because guess what? Most people think that they can deal with their consequences, and when the consequences start to happen, they basically start crying and they're on their face and things like that. And the thing about it is that you have a lot of women treating men like crap. They cheat on them, they sleep around on them and stuff like that. And then guess what happened? Some of these men, they beat up these women, they cripple them do stuff, they kill them, whatever it is. You know what I mean? We might not like the end results of some of these things, but the truth of the matter is that we need to stop saying things like, oh, it's just how women are. I don't care if it's just how women are. That doesn't make it acceptable for them to do it. You understand? If you're gonna get up and say, boys will be boys, but it's not acceptable, don't turn around and tell me, oh, girls just wanna have fun. You know? So, the humbling effect is basically when a woman hits the wall and she realizes that she's of no worth to anyone but herself. And then women have to try to reinvent themselves to try and even put themselves back out in the dating world. And by the time they get back out in the dating world, they're competing against younger women who basically have way better bodies, don't have any diseases yet, and don't have any kids. That's the humbling effect. The humbling effect is that nobody wants to be around a bitch. Nobody wants to be around a slut. Nobody wants to be around a woman that can't add value to their life. You having like 3 kids can't add value to any man's life. Most men don't want that. I can guarantee you 90% of men that even sleep with a mother that has kids is with her because he's sleeping with her. He's not with her because he wants to marry her or he wants to give a relationship. And I can guarantee you that if he's even having a relationship with her, it's a subpar relationship. He's not giving his all to that woman. So anyway, the humbling effect basically just like for women, it's when they hit rock bottom. Because a woman can be going down and still is a bitch and still is a slut. But it's when she reach rock bottom, that's when you realize that the humbling effect basically has taken place. Where you see her as she is. Like, I've had a lot of girlfriends that told me that I would never be anything, I'd never do anything great with my life, and most of them are reaching out to me. And this is something that I constantly show my wife, that, you know, listen, you treat me like shit, just leave. Like, I'm like, I tell people all the time, I'm okay with women leaving my life. I'm like really okay, like, just get the frick out. Like, you know, most Americans like to use the F word. I don't like to swear, but I just generally have this notion that if you're leaving, leave, but stay gone. Do not come back. There is no place for you here. And a lot of my exes, they are very arrogant in believing that they can always contact me and talk to me as if nothing happened. And I was talking to my wife about this the other day, where, you know, people always do you wrong and then want to talk to you as if it's just a regular day for them. Like they didn't do anything to hurt you or anything like that. Like, I'm not like that type of person to play that game. If you want to come back and apologize, fine. But apologies don't mean that I'll accept you back into my life. Even if I accept your apology, don't mean I'm going to talk to you. I've just accepted your apology and I forgive you. That's it. I don't have to have you back in my life. It doesn't mean anything. Like, it's not going to add any value in my life if I have an ex in there. As a matter of fact, it will make it worse. Why will it make it worse? It will just cause problems between me and my wife. And I don't want that. I live with my wife. I don't live with an ex. Don't make any sense. You understand? So that's why I even ignore. I don't reply to an ex. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. I know they hit rock bottom. Anytime an ex reaches out to me, I know it's because she hits rock bottom. She had a humbling effect happen. I've had an ex write me about her humbling effect. And I was like, okay, whatever. That ain't my problem. Don't care. You know, go to hell, die. As if it should mean something to me. It doesn't mean shit to me. You know, so people, I want you to just remember, male and female, do not act in a way to people that is unseemly and inhumane. Treat people properly. You understand? Because the tables can turn at any point in time. And there is no thing as it can't happen to me and it will never happen to me. That's not life. And a lot of women are waking up from that. Like I said before, I don't ever say it can't happen. I always say, Lord, I pray that it does not happen. And I do my best to let it not happen. But the fact of the matter is that I have in my mind that there is a high possibility that things can happen to me in my life. So I prepare. You understand? Anyway, people, enough love and respect. That's my rant for the day. Hopefully I'll get to put up some more videos about some other topics and stuff. Hope you like my new haircut too as well. Back piece kind of. Yeah. You see it. Enough love and respect. Laters.